25 years. A lot of families have come and gone. The Barclays, the Kincaids, the Tillys.
Chucky, I'm scared.
You fucking should be.
What is going on, everybody? We have another Slasback Saturday review. Today's Slasback Saturday just happens to coincide with another review series I'm doing, which is the Child's Play reviews. Today we have Curse of Chucky, which fits our theme, Blood is Thicker. Family slashers in more ways than one. Now, this is a 2013 film directed by Don Mancini, starring Brad Dourif once again as Chucky, aka Charles Lee Ray. It also stars Fiona Dourif as Nika. And just so you know, guys, there are going to be some spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen this movie yet, you might want to check it out before you watch the rest of this review. Also, giving cameos in this movie are Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany and Alex Vincent as Andy Barclay. Our story is that a good guy doll shows up on Nika's doorstep, and very soon after, her mother, who she lives with, comes to her end. Mysterious circumstances, don't know how she fell to her death. Her sister and her sister's family show up, and her sister is trying to convince Nika to sell the house and move into assisted living as Nika is handicapped. Nika's not too fond of that idea. Her and her sister kind of bicker about it a little bit. And Nika gives the doll, the good guy doll that showed up, named Chucky, to her little niece Alice. Alice loves the doll. Alice, just like Andy Barclay back in the original, is the first person that Chucky reveals himself to. As we know, the good guy doll is the Chucky doll, even though he's completely healed from his scars of the previous two films. Chucky starts a game of deadly cat and mouse with Nika and the people in the house. As a brutal night unfolds, a dark family history is revealed. Now, how does this tie into the family slasher aspect, you may ask? Well, we have a few reasons here and a few ways it ties in. One, Chucky targets a family. He targets Nika's family. Two, Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, in the flashbacks, it shows that he wanted to be a part of Nika's family. So much so that he killed Nika's father, kidnapped Nika's mother, putting Barbara, Nika's older sister, into school, picking her up from daycare, things like that, while he kept Nika's mother tied up in the basement of his hideout, leading directly to the events of his death. It also shows that because of that, he felt betrayed by Nika's mother in his own brain, and he stabs her through the stomach where Nika, who is inside her belly, is at the time, and that is why Nika is handicapped. He had in his own mind this delusion that they were his family. Family is a recurring theme throughout this movie. And the final family tie is that the people that star in this film, Brad Dourif, who has always played Chucky, always played Charles Lee Ray, he brought his daughter into the fold, and it's almost like bringing her into the Child's Play family that Don Mancini has created. Brad Dourif brings in his daughter, Fiona Dourif, and I'm not actually sure if he brought her in purposely, or if she auditioned, or he said, hey, my daughter wants to try out for the role, let's give her a chance. And she blew them away, and she was great, so they took her. And I'm glad they did, because she may have been Brad Dourif's daughter, but she is a phenomenal actress. She is so good in these movies. Like I said, we have family ties throughout this whole movie. It's all over the place. I'm going to start off with my cons. I only have one. Now, a lot of people, I do want to address a small elephant in the room. A lot of people say that Chucky looks funny in this movie, and that's a con for them. Here's my opinion on why Chucky looks funny. Because he does. There's some shots where he looks a little off. He looks like, I don't know, the face of the doll almost looks like Japanese animated to me in a way. But there's a reason for that, in my opinion. The reason for that is Chucky has, and here comes the spoilers, Chucky has putty and stuff covering his face, to cover up the scars that are there. It is Chucky. It is the original doll that was left over from Seed of Chucky, left over from Bride of Chucky. Well, they kind of ignore Seed, so that's a good thing. Kinda. They do mention the Tillies. And there is a web search that shows the killings in Los Angeles. I'm kind of hoping that means that Chucky, you remember at the end of Seed of Chucky when the little arm comes out and hits Glenn? I'm kind of hoping that Chucky came back and killed all of them, except for Tiffany. So I'm kind of hoping Glenn and Glenda are dead. That's just me, you know. It's my opinion of why Chucky looks different is because he had that putty on his face. If you notice, after that putty comes off, he looks like he's always been, in my opinion. So that's just a small elephant in the room I wanted to address, but it's not a con for me. It doesn't bother me at all in this film. The only con that I have in this movie is that the sister, her husband, the nanny, they are all completely unlikable characters. I just don't like them. I can't wait for them to die, and it's fun watching them do so. But I just didn't relate to any of them. I love Nika. I like Alice. All the rest of them, I'm just willing and waiting and ready to watch them die. That's all there is to it. That being said, that is my only con, so I'm going to get into my pros. And my first pro is Fiona Dorff, a great addition to this franchise. Let me tell you, one hell of an actress. I was so blown away and so impressed with her. She is so awesome, and she plays a paraplegic amazingly. A lot of times when you have actresses and actors that have full function and mobility of their faculties, and they're playing a paraplegic, you can see like slight twinges where they try to move their instincts kick in, their normal behavior kicks in. With her, there was none of that. I didn't see a single movement in her legs that shouldn't have been there. And I loved that. I thought she did so well. So good. I love Fiona Dorff in this. She is such a good actress, and I really, really have a lot of respect for her. My next pro is Brad Dourif. Again, Brad Dourif brings his A game. He crushes the role. The dialogue, the delivery is so on point. It's so good. And he's just all around amazing. Really enjoy him. Really enjoy Chucky. And that being said, my next one is I love the puppeteering in this. I also even love the parts where you can tell that it's not a puppet. And they use there's a point where Chucky's walking down the stairs. And they use a overhead shot zooming down on him. And you can tell that it's probably a kid or something in the Chucky outfit walking down the stairs. But it looked good. It looked real. It did not look fake. They really did a good job on the puppeteering, combining it with CGI, because there was some CGI movement, and combining it with an actual actor playing the role of Chucky. Whether it was a kid or a LP, a little person, it didn't matter. They did a really good job. Really enjoyed that. My next pro is that I love the creepiness of this movie. It's scary. The movie is dark and scary. The house that they're in is old and gothic looking, and it's just really evil surroundings. Very great atmosphere. One of my favorite scenes, and this is a pro for me too, is this great dinner scene they have, where there's a priest there, the whole family's there. Nika's made them all dinner, and they're eating, and it's kind of by candlelight, and it's just dark and gloomy. And something happened. Chucky has poisoned the chili on top to make it look like cheese with rat poison. And you don't know who has the poison bowl. And you're wondering, is it her? Is it him? Who's got the poison bowl? And when you find out, you're like, okay, got it. Chucky's doing his thing, And I love it. I absolutely love the atmosphere of this movie. It's so dark. It brings this movie back. Don Mancini just brought the movie back to its roots of dark and scary. Chucky is scary again. Still has great lines. Has some great one-liners. But he is scary again. And I fucking love it. Really like the story of this movie. I like that we get some backstory on the life of Charles Lee Ray. We get backstory of the events leading up to the first film. We get all kinds of good stuff. The story in this movie is extremely well written. Don Mancini shows once again why he can write such a great screenplay, and he does an amazing job at it. It's very good, very, like I said, very dark. Even the writing is dark. There's some dark subject matter going on here. The mother, Alice's mother and father, they're going through bad times. They're probably going to get divorced. Alice's mother is cheating on the father with the female nanny. There's just all kinds of things going on that are just central, and they wrap around the main story in such a great way. I truly feel it really contributes to pushing this story forward. Even the ending, there are some cameos at the end. Right before the credits and after the credits, there are two great cameos. Jennifer Tilly and Alex Vincent, and it all ties together so well. Everything they do in this is done very well. One of my biggest pros, though, is that once again, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit already, but not only is the atmosphere in the movie scary, Chucky is scary again. There's even a jump scare in this, and I've watched this movie since it's come out. I've probably watched this movie 10 times already. Since I've owned it, since I bought it. I probably watched it about 10 times. And there was even a jump scare that got me a little bit. Not me, and I didn't go, huh, but it kind of like, ooh, I felt that, like, I forgot that was there, I forgot that was coming. They did it well. It was like the only real one jump scare in the movie, in my opinion. And they did it well. Chucky, though, is scary again. Chucky is foreboding. Like you said, he still got great lines, but they didn't take it in the complete comic direction that they did in Seed, or even so much in Bride. He is dark, he is scary, and he's just out to kill motherfuckers. That is all. I really love the kills in this. I love the effects, and I love the uniqueness of them. There's different kills. They don't just go for the same old stabby stab that Chucky is kind of known for. They do a lot of really cool stuff. Like I said, he poisons one of the bowls. And then the person who gets poisoned leaves. It's the priest. He leaves, drives off, gets in a wreck because the poison is messing with him. And he's caught in all this metal. And he's bleeding somewhere and they cannot tell where. They pull the metal off. All of a sudden, the blood starts gushing from his throat. And then, bam, his head falls off. And it starts spurting blood. Beautiful decapitation scene. And then you see the severed hand holding his rosary, still laying in the back seat behind him. Just so cool. I loved it. It's such a great kill. Another great kill. There's an axe to the face, and it just totally chops off like the entire bottom half of the mouth and everything. Really cool. There's a lot of great kills. I'm not going to give all the kills away, but there's some really good kills. Really love it. I love the way it looks. The effects were done great. They use practical and some CGI, and they are done well. They're married very perfectly in this. I just love this film all around. Now, here's my biggest pro, guys, and you're probably going to think this was kind of crappy or petty, but there is no Glenn or Glenda, and I fucking love it. Thank God they didn't put those two in. So happy there's no Glenn or Glenda in this. Glenn and Glenda need to stay away from the franchise. Guys, that's my thoughts on Curse of Chucky. I fucking love this movie. It ranks very high in my ranking of the franchise. And I hope that if you have not seen this movie because you kind of wrote off after Seed of Chucky, you will give it a try. This is an awesome film, and you definitely need to see it if you haven't. So that is also my thoughts on Curse of Chucky, and that is my video for Slasback Saturday. So on that note, I will say peace. I'm out.
Don't fuck with the Chuck.